Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have never thought that I will make a video where I will, defend the rights of Romanians and Hungarians in the same time. And people who are familiar with the issue know exactly what I'm talking about. That is, historically, these two nations don't really enjoy one another's company. I have no problem with them as long as they have a problem with me. That's how it goes, and I hope the same thing goes for my Hungarian friends. I have Hungarian friends, but the same thing. We don't bring the past. Don't tell me I'm bad. I'm not going to tell you you're bad. Just live our lives. The problem is who's familiar with historical events in Europe, at least, will understand exactly what I'm talking about reading this article. During this reading, when I'm going to do my explanations, I will use some history, I will use some maps. Maps will be very important to explain what's going on there. So let me start by reading this article. And again, is by my a person that I admire a lot. His name is Hungary Szijjarto. He is the foreign minister of Hungary. And I don't admire him because he's a good-looking guy, but I admire for his intelligence, courage, wit. He's very good. That is how a foreign minister is. Not Blinken, not Truss, not Annabella Baerbock or any other like that, or Blinken, I don't know if I mentioned him. Anyway, Russia Today, 15th of February 2023. Kiev's treatment of minorities to be investigated. Budapest. This is the guy. Ukraine has stripped the language rights of more than 150 Hungarians living on its territory. Now, that's a violation, just so you know, under any kind of measures. The Council of Europe will release a report this summer on Ukraine's alleged discrimination against ethnic Hungarians and Romanians living on its territory, Hungary's Foreign Minister Péter Szijjarto announced on Wednesday. So he also promotes the Romanians' rights now because it's going to help him. But you're going to find out why. Because Hungarians are 150,000, but the Romanians are more than that. So, number looks good here. Hungarian inhabitants of the Transcarpathia region have lost their right to education in their language and have been forcibly drafted into Kiev's military. That's abuse, isn't it? The free Ukraine. In a post on Facebook, Szijjarto said that the Council of Europe's Venice Commission, which scrutinizes constitutional law and democratic reforms, will give its opinion on the matter in July. And I'm quoting, "When war broke our next door, we decided not to mention the case of violations of rights against national communities." End quote. That is because they were nice, but their minority was discriminated against, the Hungarian minority living in Ukraine. I will explain how that ended up in how the Hungarian minority and Romanian minority ended up in Ukraine, under Ukraine's borders. All right, so unfortunately, I'm quoting Szijjarto again, unfortunately, in Ukraine, a new law was recently adopted which further restricts minority rights. That's bad. Szijjarto was referring to a law passed in December which mandated that the Ukrainian language be used in most aspects of daily and public life, including in schools. Now that's a no-no. Previous language laws passed by Kiev were criticized by Venice Commission for failing to safeguard minorities' linguistic rights, and the latest legislation has been condemned by human rights organizations. Around 156,000 ethnic Hungarians live in Ukraine, most of them in the region of Transcarpathia. All right, Transcarpathia is right here. So this is Hungary, the modern Hungary, the current, the present. Here is Romania, right here, and it's west. And here in the northwest, is Ukraine. Now there's where I have my cursor right here. There's used to be, Hungary wants more than that in everywhere, like any other country. Romania thinks that this belongs to it and so on. So they all want something from the neighbor, get it that way. And not Ukraine though, because Ukraine was given. So it's given from Romania, was given from Hungary. So this is Transcarpathia right here. That belongs now to Ukraine, given by the victors. So most of them live in Transcarpathia, once a part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This region fell under Soviet control after the World War II. He says, no, this comes to Soviet Union and we're going to give it to Ukraine. And it remained in Kiev's hands when the Ukrainian SSSR became modern. So in 1991 or 90, I think that's when Ukraine was formed again after USSR collapsed. That remained over there, didn't come back to them, like Moldova to Romania, like Bukovina to Romania. We're going to discuss that in a minute. Ukraine is also home to around 150,000 ethnic Romanians and more than 250 Moldovans. That's Romanians, okay, living in Moldova. And Bucharest has joined Budapest. Ooh, that's a alliance of of necessity, in demanding that the language law be revised. There are Ukrainians living in Romania. I know that. And their rights are respected, their language is respected. As these guys is based on percentages, how many you have in that area, how many Ukrainians have in certain kind of villages or towns, and you can speak Ukrainian. There's no problem with that. Now, if you have 3 Ukrainians in the whole Romania, obviously there's not going to be everybody speaking Ukrainian now. The Ukrainian government's forcible drafting of Transcarpathian Hungarians into military services has further inflamed tensions between Budapest and Kiev, as video surfaced last month showing Ukrainian troops press ganging recruits into service. I saw that one, I made a video on that. Szijjarto commented the brutal, quote-unquote, nature of the draft. Should the Council of Europe fail to resolve Hungary's grievances, Szijjarto wrote in a separate Facebook post that Budapest will take its case to the European Court of Human Rights, itself a body of the Council, as a, and I'm quoting, last resort. Now let's go to history. Let's start with Hungary. Pam pam. This is the current map of Hungary. Budapest, the capital, over here. This is Romania. I don't know if you see my cursor here, but right here in the north here, and if I take Békéscsaba here, if you draw like this, that used to be Hungarian. This is Transylvania and Banat. There's a lot of Hungarians living here. A lot of them here, okay? So if these are mistreated, they will do the same thing. Hungarians in Slovakia, Hungarians here, because Hungary belonged to the Austria right here, Austro-Hungarian Empire, which was big, 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 big. So a lot of people, Romanians lived in Austria, Hungary, and so on. Now, Budapest, this is the new map. This is the old map. This is what Hungary says it's theirs. Why? You see where the green thing is, the dark green, that's Hungary. And when you see these little pockets of a little bit lighter green, not the whole green, those are Hungarian minorities, population. Now this right here is Transcarpathia. And it says 0.3% live over there of the whole Hungarian population. In Romania, 6.6% live right here or something. 92 live in this country, in their country. Everything else is outside. Here, see, 3.5 lives in Serbia. This is now part of Serbia. I think it's something, Croatia, 1%. So they say these guys right here and others are not given the right to speak their language and go to school and speak Hungarian in school. Now let's go to Romania. Pam. This is Romania, current map of Romanian right now. So you see this red little line over there, pop in the north east, right here. Now that's the so-called country of Moldova. Moldova is like this big, it's double. That was taken by Stalin. But you see this lower part where it says Ukraine? That was part of Moldova. That's called Bessarabia. Now that was given by Stalin to Ukraine. I'm going to show you the old map of Romania, right here. And this is the old map. You see how Bessarabia, how big it was? You see this? Now it's Ukraine here. But it wasn't Ukraine here. And here, right here, this is called the Bukovina. This was given, and then Hotin, the area here, was given to Ukraine. All here is in Ukraine right now, and these are a lot of Romanians here. The same here, a lot of Romanians here. And Moldovans, because here was Moldova. This is what he talks about, the 250 Moldovans. Right here. And right here, because probably includes that in Moldova. So this is how it used to be. Now, I'm talking about where people are located. There are Romanians here, Romanians. There are Ukrainians in Moldova. There are Ukrainians up here, and that's the way it is. Now, these rights must be respected as a as a modern country that you think you're going to be part of European Union and so on. You can't act like that. So what's up with Ukraine? Remember, Ukrainian government banned some media, banned some political parties, banned a religious denomination. This is just a few examples. All these are not right. Now with the minorities, that shows you a trend. So when you send money to Ukraine, make sure you send it to the people. But with the leaders, this is what they do. And they say they're going to have a session into the European Union, a fast track. Not with that, I guarantee you that. And if that happens, that means Europe will disintegrate soon. And the same with NATO, not with that. So Szijjarto, with big balls and he's going to do something about it. And good for him, because if the Ukrainian population living in other countries around, their rights would be trampled and they would be discriminated, I would definitely speak up for them. Because I don't care if they're Hungarians, I don't care if they're Romanians, I don't care if they're Moldovans, or how you want to call them, or Ukrainians. I care about the principle. In this case, not good. So this is how things go in the country that we support as being this and that. I'm not saying we should not support, but maybe a little bit with more nuance. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.